Hey guys, new video for Path of Exile. So this video we're going to go over a different spin on the Transcendence Scion Armor Stacker. A different way to build it. I'll go over two different setups, and basically it's because there is a new item on the market. It's this chest here from Mr. Misha. I was actually thinking of making something similar to this, but just could not go through the crafting. I was thinking of doing it in the graveyard and that kind of stuff, but never ended up doing it. But he made one, and so we're trying it out. And so far it's pretty cool. You can see that I'm actually running two swords right now on my Transcendence setup, and I'm able to get quite a lot more damage by using this kind of setup. Well, I guess what's unique about this chest is that it has 20% of physical damage taken as cold. So that allows for quite a lot of different build options. I'll go over two of those today. The first one we're going to go over, I guess, is the usage of like using two swords. This is probably on a very high budget. You do need like the triple purity Watcher's Eye to actually get this going. It's not really ideal either because you're only at 99% physical damage taken as with your flask up. We'll go over some stats later on in PoB, but the other use case I think will be probably a lot more useful for most people is that this chest allows you to drop your Taste of Hate on a normal budget, like high, medium, high budget Transcendence Armor Stacker. You can drop your Taste of Hate even just with a 2 mod Watcher's Eye and then a, an 8% corrupted shield. So you don't even need the double corrupted Dawnbreaker, you don't need the triple Watcher's Eye, and you can drop your Taste of Hate. The chest does come with quite a lot of other mods, so it has the global defense and the fire overcap, so that's pretty nice. I mean, pretty amazing, right? It has both of those mods. It also does have frenzy on hit, and frenzy on hit is quite hard to get on Scion Armor Stacker. Maybe on higher budgets you can go get them, but for the most part, you're pretty much not getting frenzies. So getting frenzies into the build is quite a lot of extra damage. And then it also does have 30% aura effect, so a generic aura effect that affects all of your auras. It's quite nice. Now, usually you'd be using a chest like this over here with the Grace aura effect, and that kind of stuff. So you do lose a little bit of aura effect on Grace, and you do lose fire resistance and some regen, but you do gain extra damage by using this chest. It's a little bit more damage, and it does allow for some of those other setups that I went over. So we'll go over the POBs later on, but first of all, I think we go into a showcase so you guys can see what it looks like. So in this setup with the two swords, we're actually at about 320 million DPS. That's coming in from like, I don't know, 180, 190-ish million DPS. So gained quite a lot of damage by using two swords. I mean, obviously, right? Okay, so let's go into a 100% Delirious Feared map. Usually these maps did take a little bit of time to kill the Feared because of the 100% Delirious, but hopefully with these swords we can just go and blast them and finish the map pretty quickly. Okay, and hopefully there is no reflect on this map. Okay, looks like we are fine. So I don't really care about the reward for this map, so we will just kind of go on till we find the Feared and get back to you guys. Alright, so did find the Feared, just ran into them over here, down here. So let's go and try to kill them off and see what happens. Alright. Can't really see what is going on, but we are killing off the Elder very quickly. I think everyone else is pretty much dead. Shaper's dead. It's just that Zeri. Let's just use our Vol Haste. Okay, was that everyone? Yep. Alright, so they were dead pretty much instantly. Usually these kind of 100% daily maps do take quite a bit longer, but I'm not really 100% convinced about this setup yet. Still testing a lot of things. But let's go over the POB and some of the other setups I had in mind. Okay, so this is the current POB you saw me using. See, 326 million DPS, Fizzmax hit 600k. This is like with Molten Shell on. And let's turn everything off so you see what it looks like in like a worst case scenario. Let's find our Molten Shell. There we go. So 34k max hit on Fizz is a little bit sketchy, gotta say. So that's the one downside if you're going to be going for this 2-sword setup. I'm not really sure how good this is, but you know, the damage is quite nice, and if you can go and just burst things down before they can hit you while still having quite a lot of, like you could see with Taste the Hate Up, where like 300k Fizz max hit, which you know, there isn't really much in the game that will do 300k damage to you on Fizz. So overall, quite nice on this build, using 2 swords to get some extra damage. Okay, so let's go over the next build. Okay, so I think this build has a lot more, I would say, practical use cases. So you can see we are using the 20% Fizz taken as chest. This allows us to drop our Taste of Hate for a Bottled Faith, and you can see that we are only using a single PTA implicit shield. So not really much changes on the tree. The Watcher's Eye does, if you want to get 100% PTA, you need a double purity of elements Watcher's Eye. Otherwise you're going to be at 98%, which actually isn't the end of the world. I can show you right now. Let's take everything off. Let's take the Molten Shell off real quick. So at 100% PTA, you're at like 670 Fizz max hit. What happens if we have a, like, say, Purity of Fire Watcher's Eye and a Purity of Elements? You can just see, so this will be a 10%, and you can see you still will have 200k Fizz max hit, which is, you know, more than enough to tank pretty much everything in the game. So anyways, so that's kind of the main two things, two POBs for using this chest that I had in mind. You could probably even do this at a very lower budget without the 3 passive voices. Like you go for large clusters and you would just let's say you turn off the haste aura pretty much, and that'll give you quite a lot of extra mana, and then you can probably fit this in without any voices even and get it running like that. So that's kind of cool. Another thing you can do is if you do have like the triple purity Watcher's Eye, you can have this body armor with the 20% Fizz taken as, and then you can go and grab the synth helmet. So you can get 15% increased effective non-curse auras from your skills, and this actually opens up quite a few options. You'll be getting frenzies, you're going to get a lot of aura effect, so well, you know, you don't need this 1 extra point on Soul of Steel for the +2 because of the aura effect boosting up your Purity of Fire, so that's kind of cool. So you get 1 extra point. Don't really know where you would be putting this guy, but you know, you could get like another 3 passive cluster here. Let's just put some random one in like this. I do have to get a little bit of strength for the body armor, and then what this allows you to do is it's a couple of things. You know, you could get another aura, or maybe even take out your Enlighten, or you know, who knows what. So there's quite a few options. I'll post some of these in the compendium you guys can go check out. One thing to note about the chest, it does have 180 strength dex in requirement, so you probably will have to use another small cluster with like all attributes or strength to kind of get your strength and dex up there, so keep that in mind. But yeah, that's kind of it for the POBs. Alright, so that'll be it for this video, guys. A quick little video on this item, because I think it does open up quite a lot of new possibilities for these Transcendence Scion builds. Anyways, big shout out to Misha for actually crafting the chest. The chest is pretty insane with all of the elevated mods and the breach mods combined. Very beautiful craft. Okay, so that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.